What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is Season 10, Episode 1. The episode is titled NDAs and DNA. Yeah, let's talk about it. So we start the episode off with Tisha and Marceau. They're at the house with the nice black kitchen. Y'all, I could have swore that these two decided that they were going to live in this house for the moment, but the plan was to go back to their old house once it got remodeled, or they were supposed to be building a house on the new land. I did not know that they were going to continue to live in this house. I thought this was an investment property. I thought they was going to rent it out or resell it or something like that, because they were talking about how they were making all these modern upgrades to this house, and it's going to be so different than the rest of the houses that are in Huntsville. But maybe I'm tripping. Nonetheless, we actually see Tisha at first. She's talking to her kids, and it's like, okay, cool, the kids are getting older. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, okay? Marceau comes in, and in their confessional, they talk about how they are going to be celebrating their 20th year being married. Congratulations to them, y'all. That is not an easy feat. Hell, a lot of people don't even make it 2 years. So the fact that they're making it 20, that's good. However, you already know some mess is about to come on through the door. And when I say some mess, y'all, I mean Wanda. Yes, Wanda, sure enough, Wanda is back. And that's because Melody is no longer here. Because y'all know that when Melody was still on this show, there were some people who were no longer invited. Wanda being one of them. Also, there couldn't be any mention of Arion's name or photos, anything of Arion. Well, baby, things have changed. But let's talk about Wanda. Wanda hit the door, and she has questions for Marceau. She's like, so what happened between you and Martell? Because how did we get to this point? We are coming off of Martell and his baby mama Arion doing a video with some girl saying that she slept with Marceau. And, of course, Wanda is like, here you go, trying to hurt my daughter again. What is happening? Why didn't you say you never knew this girl? You don't know her. Something. No, he don't give no response. And what's crazy is that Marceau, you be having responses for other stuff, but whenever it comes to infidelity, you magically ain't never got no response. Like, you do not reassure your wife at all. But then also at the same time, we have Tisha saying that her and her husband have an understanding, and they have a way of communicating that she knows that he's her protector. So you know what? I don't even care too much. But I do understand where Wanda is coming from. You need to say something. It's not just I'm not going to address that situation. That is not what this is. You should address it head on. And I will say that with Wanda back on the show, y'all, it does remind me of like season 1, season 2, when she used to come at Marceau crazy. So I guess we are back in store for that, okay? But let's go ahead and move on, because we got to talk about Kimmy and Maurice. First of all, they sit at the house with Monster. And here we go. Dr. Maurice Luther King Jr., he always has something to say in his speech. He's telling Monster that, first of all, why are we still calling him that? That's number one. Number two, he's telling this boy, oh, you're about to go off to college and you're going to be facing a lot of challenges that come with a lot of consequences. I'm like, what the fuck do you think this boy about to get into? Like, sure, you always want your children to make the right decision, but I'm like, damn, consequences? Do you think that he about to, get drunk on campus and run around naked every day? What do you think is going to happen? Like, shouldn't you have instilled enough good things in your child that you trust that they're going to do okay away from you? And then Kimmy chimes in, and she's like, at one point you're going to have to make a choice when you see your friends having a good time, drinking and smoking or doing whatever that they're doing, and you're going to have to make a choice, basically, if you want to join in with them or not. And here's my thing. I get it. We want to be protective of our kids, especially when they go away to college. But do y'all let Monster out the house now? Like, do y'all let Monster go to parties? I mean, I don't know if the kids are having parties anymore, but do y'all let him go out the house? Because it's giving, y'all don't let him go free. Because, yes, there will absolutely be kids drinking in college. There will definitely be some weed smoking in college, and who knows what other drugs these kids is on now. And, like, I understand being protective of your kids and wanting the best for them and all the things, but I just don't like their tone. Their tone in this conversation is giving, you have to make the right decision. You better not make the wrong one, because there's going to be consequences for you. And it's like, bring it down. He's growing up, okay? He's going to make mistakes. We just hope that they're not detrimental mistakes, okay? Let that boy have a little fun in college. Relax. Because in this moment, y'all, this is where things piss me off. Because Maurice, he decides to make this shit about him. And he circles it back to his DUI case. And he's like, yeah, has anyone mentioned anything about the DUI? And he's like, yeah, people talked about it, like, whatever. And here goes Maurice. Well, did they mention anything about how the charges were dropped? Yeah, people, they like to talk when things are going on, but they don't, they want to stop talking about stuff when the charges get dropped and stuff like that. Maurice, did you get off by, like, a technicality or something? Sir, please stop. Please. Like, the fact that you made this moment about you, but it wasn't a teaching moment, is crazy. You could have took responsibility and been like, you know what? In that moment, I had to rethink the decisions that I made and what type of consequences that led to and how that's going to affect you and how your friends look at you. None of that came out. None of that. And I'm just like, well, what the fuck was this? Maurice, please stop talking. So, next thing you know, Kimmy is telling her husband about how she has, I guess, a property listing that is 30,000 square feet. It's like a really big property. And she's excited about it. And he's like, yes, I told you that you should go ahead and do like the real estate thing. Sir, hold the fuck up. Now, she was a nurse, okay? And it sounded like Kimmy left when she was at the tip top, okay? She wasn't just like some CNA. No, she was for real a nurse. The way that man tried to downplay her career as a nurse was crazy to me. That lady had put in years being a nurse. For him to be like, yeah, you need to retire and do real estate. Y'all, I feel like the only way that Kimmy has been able to actually do real estate and leave nursing alone was because of this show. Because financially, she probably definitely needed the money from this show to sustain. Real estate, baby, it can be hit or miss, come and go. You can sell a house on Monday and you don't sell another house until 5 months from now. Okay? So there's that. Also, this is really like the first time we've even heard mention of her really, like, doing a real estate thing. I feel like it was mentioned briefly, but it sounded like she was doing more so like paperwork. You know what I mean? Not actually like getting in the field. And we're going to talk about real estate a little bit later with somebody else. Nonetheless, she ends up bringing up Jordan Lane. Oh, what is Jordan Lane? Oh, that's actually a restaurant. So Kimmy is trying to open up a restaurant. And I feel like there was mention of this last season. And of course, Marceau, being the contractor, he's supposed to be working on it. So she ends up asking Maurice, oh, how's that coming along? And he's like, oh, he's putting in a lot of work. Y'all, I'm sorry, but as many contracts as Marceau gets, he spreads himself too thin. Either he needs a bigger team or he has to stop taking on so many projects. Because whatever happened to the house that he was building for Tisha, the old house that they was living in, what else was he supposed to be working on? Was he working like some apartment complexes or something? Some big project like that. We never heard nothing else. They broke ground. Remember they broke ground and put them hard hats on and them suits? What happened, whatever that was? Now you're supposed to be building something for Kimmy. Sir, you're doing a lot. You're doing a whole lot. And it seems like no project meets completion. What's going on with that? And even Kimmy says that it takes him a long time to finish projects. Again, I feel like it's because he is spreading it out way too thin. Either you need a larger crew or you got to turn some jobs down. Now, according to these two, Scott Manor is coming along. Y'all, which one was Scott Manor? Is that the big house on the big land that all the family is supposed to have a piece of? Is that the one that he's been working on? Which house is it? Nonetheless, we got to talk about Chris, okay? Supposedly, Chris did like an interview where he mentioned how it's probably Maurice and Marceau who has ladies signing NDAs or something like that. And, of course, Kimmy did ask her husband, so is that true? Is there some truth behind that? And he's like, I've never had any woman sign an NDA. Sir, that was the wrong answer. She tells him, matter of fact, she asked him again, same question. And he answered the same way. And it should be that you ain't got no other women. But I'm just like, how many times? How many times are we going to have these cheating, rumored conversations with Marceau and Maurice and their wives? We're tired. We need a new storyline. I'm just going to go ahead and move on. All right, y'all. We're going to slide on over to Destiny. We see her in her headband wig. Baby, that headband wig is hella full, girl. Like, I didn't really take some of them tracks out. But nonetheless, y'all, what is going on? Since when did Destiny do real estate? I ain't never heard this girl mention real estate. She kept yapping about Madani. And also, even when they said, before Madani happened, I thought she had like an office type job or something. I don't remember her doing no damn real estate. But now she's like, yeah, I've been doing real estate for like 19 years. I said, girl, what? Why did you come on this show playing with us and Madani? Like, what was the reason? Because let's call it a thing. I need for her to let that dream go. And I'm not trying to sound fucked up, but Madani is just not it. It's not that girl, okay? Also, you got to realize you want to own a beauty supply store. Baby, that is a local business. So you need to focus on things locally around Huntsville and how you can be involved with that, because it's just not giving. Like, no offense, but you don't have a brand that would make people want to come to Huntsville for it, considering you're on a national platform at this point. It's a beauty supply, okay? I can pick up hair gel anywhere. I can pick up, shampoo and conditioner anywhere. There's nothing special about Madani. Now, if she would have went with her original idea, where she's like, oh, I'm going to have salon suites and all of the things, sure, Madani probably could have been bigger than what it is. But baby, for what it was, girl, ain't nobody checking for that. Ain't nobody checking for that. Ain't nobody checking for the candles. Just know, some people aren't meant to be entrepreneurs. Sorry, I had to say it. And I don't think that she's one of them. Girl, go get a regular 9-to-5. But nonetheless, her bestie Martell shows up. Now, she is hoping that Martell is going to put her on the listing for a house that I think he built or something like that. And my whole question is, sir, did you ever get that license? No? Okay. Also, she basically wants him to boot off, I think, Chris Fletcher and somebody else that he knows that should be on the listing. And she's like, well, I mean, it can be split three ways. Girl, you don't think that maybe you should reach out to Marceau and see if he got any property listings or something? No? Okay, fine. Nonetheless, that's not even important. Who cares? Let's talk about this conversation where we realize that, according to Martell, him and Ariana are a thing. They're working things out. She's such a great woman. We actually see a photo of them with their son. And I'm just like, okay, Carlos. Like, I knew that Ariana was coming. I knew Wanda was coming. But I did not expect both in episode 1. Also, the fact that this man said that Ariana was in nursing school kind of confused me. Because I'm like, wait, I thought y'all said she was already a nurse. But you know what? I realized there's levels to being a nurse. Because she very well could have been a CNA. She gives off CNA energy. Yeah, I don't think she was a registered nurse. I don't think that she was doing the same things that Kimmy was doing. But nonetheless, at this point, Martell has nothing but great things to say about Ariana. Destiny gonna say, oh, I'm so glad that you're just like a one-woman man right now. That man said, certainly. The way that pitch changed, yeah, he ain't no one-woman man. Don't get it twisted. He probably still out here cheating on Ariana. All right, so let's get into Destiny's messy love life, because at this point, she not really messing with Lance. However, Lance texts her happy Thanksgiving. 10 minutes later, posted, I guess, his baby, like a picture of the baby on social media. And Destiny's feeling some type of way because she never knew that he had a baby on the way. And she then says, but we weren't talking at the moment. So, we weren't talking since LA. Y'all, when was that filmed? I cannot remember, but when did they film the reunion what's the timeline between that and Thanksgiving? Because, baby, if it was a couple of months, Destiny, we not doing this shit with you no more. We are not doing this because you already did that bullshit with Moses to where you were sending random texts to this person and y'all hadn't been talking for months. Now you're saying that, you found out that he had a baby, but y'all hadn't been talking for months. Why does he owe you a conversation at this point? If y'all weren't talking, that lets me know y'all were not together. What conversation does he owe you? Because I think the answer is none. You ain't with that nigga. Like, you shouldn't even care if he got a baby or not. Because I'm telling y'all, the way this girl can play victim blows my mind. Now, when it came to that Sonny and Moses situation, yeah, they both was wrong and all of that shit. But still, Destiny, you play a game, a very dangerous game, to make it seem like situations are something that they're not. So I just want to know, what is the time frame from when the reunion was filmed to November? Okay? What is that time frame, number one? Number two, how long had y'all not been talking? Because it sounds like y'all ain't been talking for a while. When did he even find out that he had a baby on the way? Like, I got questions. Also, y'all weren't exclusive. So, yes, he could have absolutely been sleeping with somebody else. Now, I will say, it is jacked up that people are coming at her crazy over what Lance got going on. That's fucked up. But yeah, I'm just trying to see how she gonna try to play this. Because y'all know I just don't trust Destiny as far as I can throw her. Nope. But we then talk about how Martell acted a fool online because he posted that lady saying that she messed around with Marceau. He feels like, listen, they've been coming at me, so I'm coming at them harder. And it is what it is. But let's go ahead and move on. Y'all, we got Marquez and Ken meeting up. Yes, these people are back, unfortunately. But let's get into it. Alright, so basically these men try to have a man-to-man conversation because after LA, things ended pretty badly, right? At the reunion. So at this point, they try to figure out what the relationship is going to be like, because both men basically are going to be involved in these kids' lives. But here's my thing when it comes to Marquez, whatever his mama named him. I just feel like there should not be any issue with this man coming to see his kids or getting his kids. Considering them kids is old. Not trying to be funny, but one of them sounds like they're about, 16 and up? Like, their son should be probably about to go off to college somewhere. He has a phone. He can reach out to his son personally. The daughter, she is not, under the age of 10. I think she's in, middle school. So, she can reach out to her daddy. Her daddy can reach out to her. I just feel like Trish don't need to be in the middle. Because the way Trish hates that man, it ain't gonna ever work, okay? And y'all, I'm not trying to sound fucked up, but a lot of times when men break up with a woman and there's a divorce, they do divorce the children. I don't think that it's intentional, but I do think that kids get to be the collateral damage, especially coming off of something that's fresh. Okay? Should Marquez be involved with his kids? Absolutely. But let's not forget that this man has moved to a whole different state. And I'm pretty sure if he wanted the kids, let's say he wanted the kids for a week in the summer, Trish is not going to allow them kids to go over there. be honest here. I think that both parents need to put their fucking feelings to the side, because Trish, baby, anytime Marquez breathes, she got a fucked up attitude, okay? We've seen it happen many a times, okay? And again, I think that Trish loves to run with this narrative that Marquez is so fucked up, he don't be around for his kids and all the things. And here's the thing, that can very well be true. But now he's showing up. So let the man show up. That's just like how that time that they met up at like an ice cream parlor and he thought that his daughter was coming, but it was just Trish. Y'all remember that shit? I think Trish be playing fucking games. I'm sorry, I just do. And then we have Ken, who I feel like Trish fed this man some sad sob story, and he doesn't see that Trish plays a part in the bullshit. Like, I definitely feel like Ken must have saw some stuff online where people were kept saying, Ken, they were not your fucking kids. Ken, those are not your kids. You're moving like they are, but they're not. And now he has to come to Marquez and be like, oh yeah, if you want to take the kids, you can take them. You can do whatever you want with the kids. This was not the energy all last season. And we are not about to act like Ken did not specifically make it seem like he was the big man on campus. He takes care of the kids. And of course, Marquez, you don't do shit. Okay? You're broke. I got to make sure I got money so that way your kids can be fed. Because the way that man used to say that shit with vitriol towards him, I didn't like it. I hated how Ken used to say shit to Marquez that was like, and I got to take care of your fucking kids, as if it's his problem. Sir, you knew that this woman had kids when you got with her. But you saying it like you got an attitude about it, okay? So now we're trying to move forward, right? Good, we got to move forward. But then Ken brings up, yeah, because, Trish, she don't trust you. She don't really trust that you have good intentions, even talking to me. And I'm just like, well, damn, Trish. You don't trust this man to talk to Ken. You don't trust him with the kids. How the fuck was you married for him for all those years? And you don't trust him to this extent. With the kids, that's crazy. Because y'all, okay, for example, when we saw like the type of games that Martell used to play with Melody, like, I completely understand why she felt the way she did towards him. But Melody never played the game of taking the kids away from him or anything like that. Now, when they had their custody agreement, where she got the kids on certain days and he got them on certain days, he had to respect that agreement. That's one thing. But I don't know. Trish gives me the vibe that she literally holds the cards, and those are her kids. Marquez, if it was up to her, you would never see them. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and slide on over to Chris and Nell. So he says that he's studying for his home builder's license, right? Now, I know that he's a real estate agent. That is something totally different. So, y'all, if this man get a builder's license before Martell, I'm going to laugh, okay? Because that's what it sounds like is going to happen. So, next thing you know, Nell, of course, you want to bring up the family. So, basically, both of their sons have kids. For Lance, this is his third child. And Chris, this is his first. And according to Nell, Lance just seems to be completely out of it and, like, tired from the baby. And it's like, girl, you don't need to step in. I don't even know why that was a thought. Like, sure, this boy has a newborn. Or should I say this man? This man has a newborn child. Of course, he's going to look a little bit tired. But that's what happens when you have a baby. Like, girl, let that man go raise that child. Scoot back, Nell. You too busy trying to coddle them boys. Stop it. Now, we do learn that Martell is coming over, and when he does, they got to talk about the Polo Classic. And basically, that was where we saw a photo of Nell and Ariane. And, of course, Nell is like, did you set me up? Did you set me up? And, of course, he gonna deny it, girl. Like, it did not matter if he did set it up for this photo to be taken. He was going to deny and lie and deny. That's what he was going to do. So Martell ends up telling Nell that he thinks that he's owed an apology, and she actually gave him one. I'm like, girl, why'd you give that man an apology? Like, I guess you just trying to get along with this man because Mel ain't around. Moving on from that, This right here is where things frustrate me about the show. Because there are things that have happened online that they won't exactly say what was said, but we're talking around it. So basically, Tisha went on Carlos King's podcast and said that Martell, well, I'm just going to say she made some allegations towards Martell, right? So he retaliated and he did that video on that girl who supposedly was with Marceau. Now, only thing I got from that was the fact that he called Tisha smart and dumb at the same damn time. I said, well, damn, he ain't lying, okay? As far as Tisha and Martell retaliating against each other, here's my thing. I feel like we keep having these same conversations with this show, and we need something new. I'm over the cheating rumors. I need something else, okay? I did see that Chris Fletcher was saying how when it comes to the Scotts, there's just certain conversations that can't be had. And I believe that because they are not transparent with anybody. Now, the last bit of this conversation is Martell asking if Lance had a baby on Destiny. And we got no answer, okay? Of course, you have his mama being like, you did. I said, now, take a breath and say what the fuck you got to say. Stop playing in our faces. Just say, yep, because they weren't that serious. He was dating other people while he was dating Destiny. Okay? Like, what are we doing? So she's like, well, you can have a conversation with Lance. Girl, Lance is not on this show as a full-time cast member. We asking you. All right, now let's go ahead and slide on over to Ken and Trisha. They just spent $10,000 on a home gym. I said, well, baby, if you spending $10,000 on a home gym, oh, baby, we don't need to go outside anymore for the gym, okay? But nonetheless, they are planning on opening up a gym of their own at some point because that's like a dream of theirs. Okay, cool. So he ends up telling her that he had a conversation with Marquez. Why he say that? Because she is waiting on the pin to drop. She is hoping that there's going to be some negative things that went down. And that's not what it is. Y'all, I'm sorry, but Trisha thrives off bullshit. She does. Like the fact that this man said, I am in a better place with your ex-husband. And her response is, there's an ulterior motive. I'm like, wait, what? Girl, you should be happy. Because that means that things are moving in the right direction. If him and Ken are getting along, maybe at some point, the family could be in a better place. I mean, Ken literally has to tell her that she has to give this man a chance to change. She ain't trying to give him a chance at all. Now, again, she says that he has not seen his kids. I said, Marquez, what's going on? Listen, those kids are old enough. You don't need to talk to Trisha at all. Like, you really don't. Go see your kids. Then we see Ken, he's in a confessional saying that he always wanted to have Marquez involved in the kids. Did you, nigga? Because you was walking around like the big man on campus, and you definitely made sure that he knew that you were taking care of his kids. So I don't think you ever wanted him to really be the dad that he's supposed to be, because now you've stepped in, sir. So Ken says that there's definitely some things when it comes to Marquez that they need to hash out. But then he said something that was kind of weird to me, because he's like, we said that once we got married, there's certain things that we wouldn't be bringing into the marriage. Nigga, when y'all got married? Because she still ain't divorced. What we talking about? All right, now we slide on over to another scene with Trish. She ends up having her friend Sharon come over to the house. Now, this lady asked her, what you been up to? She said, oh, I'm just trying to figure out this newfound friendship between Ken and Marquez. Girl, that ain't nothing for you to figure out. Like, that lady asked what you got going on. To me, that is not even a big deal. Like, the fact that these men are getting along and she has an issue with it is a problem for me. So they continue to talk about Marquez, and of course she's like, everything was perfect when he wasn't in the picture, but now that he's back, like, things are just bad. And I'm just like, girl, at the ages that your kids are, I don't think that y'all should even have that much involvement with each other. Okay? So she basically says that, he be doing stuff, I guess behind the scenes causing chaos. And she just kind of feels like she hasn't exposed that part of. Listen to what you're saying. You haven't exposed that about him. And the only reason that you haven't done it is because you have respect for his mama and grandma, but not even for your kids. Get Trish the fuck up out of here. Like, I don't know. She's just like a walking dark cloud. But nonetheless, she goes on to say that it seems like he's trying to make more of a relationship with Ken than he's trying to make with the kids. Now, that I have a problem with, Marquez. Get with your kids. Because you don't even need to be besties with fucking Ken. Now, I don't know if you're trying to do that because at some point you want you and Trish to get along. But, yeah, Trish don't see it for you, buddy. Now, y'all, this is where things took a little turn for me. Marquez ends up just walking through the door, right? No knocking, no ringing the doorbell, none of those things. And here's the thing. We did not see him actually physically walk through the door. However, Sharon is looking at him crazy, and he like, why you looking at me like that? And she's like, you look like, you walked in like you got a problem. And he's like, no, I'm looking like I just dropped my daughter off. I said, well, hold the fuck up. This lady just said, oh, Xavier is picking his sister up and taking her to dance or taking her somewhere, right? How does Marquez have her? Because it's giving, you don't want your daughter to be on the show. So y'all let the little girl go upstairs to her room. It sounds like Marquez and the little girl walked in at the same damn time. Also at the same time, y'all, when I'm thinking about this, if they're filming this at her house, it's giving production is there. So I'm pretty sure there's production trucks, all the things, right? And I'm not trying to justify Marquez, but Marquez ain't the smartest. And I don't think he even thought about ringing the doorbell. The man is already mic'd up. Okay, we're here to film a scene. What the fuck am I ringing the doorbell for? You know that I'm coming here. But he don't realize, baby, we're making reality TV. You can't just walk through the door just because you know that it's open. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, baby, Marquez and Sharon, they going back and forth. And honestly, they going back and forth about nothing. They don't know each other, but there's this weird energy. Child, this is so damn stupid. But now we get back to the fact that this man has dropped his daughter off, right? Because to me, that was the more concerning thing. It's like, yo, how'd you even know where she was? And here's the thing. You are raising a preteen. I'm pretty sure she has a cell phone. I'm pretty sure that man can reach out to his child. Or he probably asked Xavier, hey, what you up to? Like, you want to kick it today? And he's like, oh, yeah, I got to pick Zaria up. Oh, you know, don't worry about it. I'll scoop her up. And then I'm going to take you and go wherever we going to go. I don't see the issue. Like, Trish, you want to have control of everything, and you don't have control of this. Girl. Now, it would be nice if you knew the whereabouts, but according to you, you got your kid's location, remember? And also, she's like, you haven't seen the kids. You've been here for days. You've been here for days. He's like, I have seen the kids. Yeah, like I said, they are talking to their father without you being involved, Trish. And that's okay. Now, at this point, things are getting a little bit heated, okay? Because he bringing up the fact that his father died, and instead of letting their daughter go to the funeral, she ended up taking her to a dance competition. And I'm just like, oh, God, this is going left. Luckily, Xavier came in, and, what's his name? Marquez was like, oh, thank God you came up here. How'd you know? Basically, how'd you know me and your mama was up in here arguing? Negro, we can hear you. That's why. So Xavier basically says, let's go eat. Like, I feel like Trish and Marquez have put these kids in the middle of their bullshit all the time. That's the energy that is given. And it sounds like the situation was extremely toxic when their relationship was over. And Marquez decided to move to Atlanta, step away, try to figure his shit out. Because keep in mind, they've been married since they were fresh out of high school. And I don't know if he's cheated on her in the past or not. But it sounds like he's been with this woman for all these fucking years. He had to get his shit together. And I'm pretty sure when he tried to get in touch with her, tried to be around the kids, she was on some bullshit. Because all of this was bullshit. It really was. Because Trish, your energy could have been like, oh, you picked her up? Next time, could you just let me know? Oh, you gonna take Xavier out to go eat? Oh, okay, that's cool. But no, she's making everything an issue. So at one point, Marquez is talking to Sharon, and he's like, well, you want to get to know me, maybe we can go, have a conversation. But if you don't know me, ain't trying to get to know me, then stop talking about me. Listen, the energy that she gave was off. I ain't even gonna lie. Sorry, it may sound like I'm Team Marquez in this situation, but I just feel like I can see through Trish and her bullshit. So it gets to the point where they're arguing yet again, and Xavier is telling his dad to go outside. Just go outside, just go outside. And it's crazy that Xavier has to be the adult in this situation. Keep in mind, this man is 19 years old? He's only 19. But it is very clear and evident that this is a continuous thing when it comes to Trish and Marquez. Whenever they get together, it's this. And the reason why I keep saying that Trish be the problem, because I will never forget that scene when we saw Marquez go over to her house or whatever. He's like, yeah, it's my first time over here or whatever. And he was talking to Melody. And she's like, well, what's the problem with that? Why haven't you been over here? Let's talk about... And, like, her energy is fucked up. Like, Trish's energy is fucked up when it comes to Marquez. I don't care how much she say that she don't want that man, she don't like that man. Girl, it is something. It's something that is causing you to react in this way. And you need to go figure that shit out. But y'all, that was the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about this season opener. It was okay. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.